Michael Reeves tightened his grip on the steering wheel, the warmth of a freshly baked pie in his lap, doing little to ease the knot in his stomach.
Patricia's recipe. It was always her way of saying, "You belong." Maybe it still is.
But as he stepped out of the car, the sound of laughter from the backyard reminded him this was no longer Patricia's world.
Well, look who decided to show up. Is that pie from a box? You can tell because it's still in one piece.
I spent all morning on that crust, but it doesn't matter. It never does.
Honestly, we didn't even expect you to make it. You are not much use at these things anymore, Dad. More of a burden, really.
Laughter rippled through the relatives. Michael's hands trembled, but he said nothing, the pie dish suddenly feeling like a shield he could barely hold. He set the pie on a side table, untouched, and stepped back into the shadow of the fence, invisible.
See? He can't even defend himself. That's the Reeves family burden for you.
And the family turned back to their barbecue, leaving Michael alone with the echo of his son's words. Michael found a bench at the far end of the yard. Where the laughter couldn't reach him, the pie sat before him, untouched, a silent reproach.
He's been like this since Mom died. Can't even pour his own coffee without moping. We've been carrying him all year.
It was Patricia who taught me to make this pie. She said it brought people together. Now it just feels like stone.
Oh, are you going to cry about that pie now? Maybe you should have stayed home with your memories.
Your mother loved these reunions.
Don't. You don't get to use her memory to make us feel guilty. She's gone, and you're the one still here being useless.
A few relatives chuckled nervously. Others pretended not to hear, focusing intently on their burgers. Michael realized they didn't even remember that he was the one who held Patricia's hand at the end. He pulled out a worn photograph of Patricia, the edges soft from years of handling. In her smile, he saw the only person who ever truly saw him.
Put that away. Nobody wants to see your grief parade. This is a party, not a funeral.
He folded the photograph back into his wallet, the motion careful and final. The pie remained untouched, a monument to what he'd lost. Aunt Carol's voice cut through the chatter, loud enough for Michael to hear every scornful word from his distant bench.
That man has been dead weight since Patricia passed. She held him together, and now we're stuck with the leftovers.
A few relatives chuckled uncomfortably. Others focused on their plates. Michael's shoulders sagged lower, as if the words had physical weight. Emily Reeves set down her lemonade and started toward her father, her jaw set with quiet defiance. But Brian intercepted her, his hand clamping around her forearm with practiced authority.
Don't coddle him, Em. If you run over there now, he'll never stand on his own. Let him feel the consequences.
He's grieving, Brian. He's not a child to be punished. Let go of me.
I am doing what's best for this family. Go back to the party. I'll handle him later.
Even Emily can't get through. Maybe they're right. Maybe I am just a burden now.
He stared at the pie, its golden crust now mocking him. The one thing he'd brought to offer had become a symbol of his irrelevance. Michael's mind drifted to a cold night 2 years ago. Pen in hand, he signed papers, refinancing Reeves and Associates, pouring his retirement into the failing company.
I promised Patricia it would be enough. She'll never know.
I closed the Henderson deal with a handshake. That's leadership.
Michael had watched from the doorway as Brian took credit for the contract he had financed.
That deal existed because I covered the gap. They think the sun rises because they open their eyes.
Relatives nodded, patting Brian's back. No one looked at the old man with the pie.
18 years of silence. And for what? To be called a burden by the son I saved.
The pie remained untouched, a monument to the cost of his sacrifice. A tear traced his cheek, but he did not wipe it. He would not give them the satisfaction. Emily slipped past the grill as Brian turned away, her footsteps quick and quiet as she approached the solo table.
Dad, I am sorry. I don't know what happened to Brian. He wasn't like this before the company took off.
It's not your fault, sweetheart. You have a good heart. and that matters more than you know.
Look at that, folks. Old man needs a woman to speak for him. Can't even handle a barbecue without a defender.
Emily drew in a sharp breath, wanting to fire back. Michael's gentle hand on her wrist stopped her.
Don't listen to him. That company is soaring because of real vision. My vision. No handouts, no charity.
A few relatives clapped. Brian puffed out his chest. Every word dug deeper into the secret Michael had guarded for years.
Your vision. I sold my life's savings to buy you the desk you brag behind.
So you see, this family doesn't need weak links. We carry our own weight, and we're stronger for it.
Michael's jaw tightened, the truth burning behind his teeth. But he remained silent, the weight of his choice pressing heavier than ever. A vibration from his pocket broke the spell. Michael pulled out his phone, the screen casting a pale light on his tired face. The screen showed a message from Charles Dufresne. "Michael, I need to see you urgently. I am coming to the reunion."
Charles never texts like this. Something's wrong.
He glanced around, but no one noticed. Brian was still entertaining his audience, arms wide.
If he shows up now, everything I've hidden might come out.
He silenced the phone and slid it back into his pocket, his fingers cold. The sounds of the party felt distant now, drowned by a new tension coiling in his chest.
After all these years, why today? Why here?
He picked up his fork and pretended to eat, but his eyes kept drifting toward the driveway. Whatever Charles needed, it was already on its way. The quiet Michael had preserved was about to shatter. The low hum of an engine cut through the laughter. A black luxury sedan rolled into the driveway, its presence immediately demanding attention. The door opened, and a polished leather shoe met the pavement, followed by an impeccably tailored gray suit.
Good afternoon. I am looking for Michael Reeves. Is he here?
Relatives exchanged glances, forks frozen midair. Brian moved quickly, inserting himself between the stranger and his father.
He's nobody. Whatever business you have, you can talk to me. I run things around here.
I doubt that. I am here to see my business partner, and Michael is the man I need.
A murmur rippled through the crowd. Someone whispered, "Did he say partner?"
Partner? Him? You must have the wrong house. Michael Reeves hasn't worked a day in his life.
I never mistake my partners. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to speak with him privately.
So it begins. There's no hiding now.
Michael rose from the bench, leaving the untouched pie behind, his expression unreadable. Charles gestured toward a quiet corner of the yard, and the two men stepped away from the murmuring crowd.
Michael, the board is in panic. Brian's decisions are bleeding us dry. If you don't recall the loans, we'll go under. You hold the majority stake. You can stop him.
Stop him? He called me a burden today. Said I haven't worked a day in my life.
Then you have a choice. I can expose the truth, or you can let them destroy themselves.
I've been silent for 18 years. It's time they knew who really built that company.
Then I'll stand with you. We make the announcement together. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's end this charade.
They shook hands, a silent pact sealed. The truth was finally coming to light. Michael and Charles walked back to the center of the yard, and the chatter died instantly.
For years, my company has supported yours. But you don't know who truly made that possible. The man you call a burden is the silent partner who rescued this company when it was bankrupt. He owns the majority share.
Gasps erupted. Aunt Carol's hand flew to her mouth. Emily's eyes widened with dawning disbelief.
That's a lie. He's never held a job. This is a setup to humiliate me.
The documents don't lie. Michael Reeves has been the backbone of your success, and you've spit on him.
I never wanted recognition. I only wanted my family to thrive. But you made me feel worthless.
You are all going to believe this over me? He's manipulating you.
But the seed of doubt had been planted. The relatives who had laughed now looked at Michael with confusion and shame. The revelation hung in the air like smoke, and the party that had been a festival of humiliation was now a courtroom. Charles reached into his briefcase and pulled out a thick folder, the legal proof of Michael's silent partnership.
Look for yourself. Every deal Brian bragged about was funded by this man.
After Patricia died, I needed this family more than ever. But you made me a ghost at my own table. I signed every check, secured every loan, and stayed silent so Brian could take the credit. And in return, he called me a burden.
You are a manipulator, twisting everything to make me look bad. You've always been jealous of my success.
These documents are notarized and dated. The truth is here for anyone with eyes to see.
Emily stepped forward, her eyes scanning the documents. The truth was undeniable, and her brother's lies lay bare. Relatives who had laughed now stared at the ground, their shame a quiet admission.
This doesn't prove anything. You could have forged these.
But the family knew. The evidence was irrefutable. The man they had dismissed was the architect of their fortune.
He's been controlling us all along. He wants to tear this family apart.
His cousin Jake, caught between loyalty and doubt, nodded uncertainly.
I never asked for a single thing in return, just respect. And you gave me none.
The yard split like a cracked plate. Fear whispered that Brian still held the reins.
Dad has done nothing but protect this family. Brian is trying to rewrite the truth.
She's just as blind as he is. This family will crumble without me.
The tension was palpable, a storm brewing in the quiet afternoon.
Words aren't enough. They need to see consequence.
Michael's jaw set. He had hoped reason would prevail, but now he saw the necessity of action. The decision crystallized in his mind, hardening into an unspoken vow. This family would learn the cost of its cruelty.
You lied to all of us, Brian. Every deal you bragged about was funded by Dad. You took his money and called him a burden.
Now hold on. Brian worked hard for this family. Business is business. Michael chose his silence.
Silence isn't consent to be erased. He gave everything, and you all pretended he was nothing.
The yard erupted into a clash of voices, relatives taking sides in a chaotic swell. Michael raised his hand, and for the first time, everyone fell silent.
Enough. I came for family, but I'm done being treated like a burden. Brian, step down as CEO and let Emily take over. Or I'll recall every loan my company made to yours. Today.
A thick, sudden silence swallowed the yard. No one breathed. Brian's face drained of color. His lips moved, but no sound came. Fury and fear twisting together. Michael stood still, the weight of 18 years lifting. The choice was now his son's alone.
You don't have the guts. You've always been weak. You'll never cut off your own son.
You are right, I didn't want to. But you left me no choice.
Do it then, old man. See if anyone still respects you after.
The family stood motionless, caught between the old man's quiet resolve and the son's loud defiance, afraid to breathe. Michael turned to Charles, who stood ready with the briefcase that held the power to reshape their world.
The recall documents are here, Michael. Just say the word.
Michael reached in and retrieved the stack, the pages heavy with finality. Brian's smirk flickered, a crack in his armor that he tried to hide with a casual wave of his hand. But Michael's grip was firm, the tremor of earlier shame replaced by iron resolve.
I gave everything and got nothing. Now they'll see the cost.
The loans are callable at any time, per the contract Brian himself signed. The legal standing is undisputable.
Brian's eyes darted to the document, his own signature glaring back like an accusation.
Dad, you wouldn't do this to your own blood. Please, I am your son.
You made it clear I am not blood when I became a burden.
Brian's gaze swept the yard, searching for a lifeline. But even Cousin Jake had retreated into the silent crowd.
I'll do anything. I'll step down, I'll apologize. Just don't pull the loans.
Michael's knuckles whitened on the papers, the only sign of the pain he still felt.
Michael, remember the board's warning. If you let this stand, everyone here loses.
18 years of silence, and now he offers an apology. It's too late for mercy.
The family held their breath, caught between the old man's quiet resolve and the son's crumbling pride.
He's family, Michael. You can't destroy him. We all have our flaws.
Come on, Michael. Brian made mistakes, but he's your son. You raised him better than this.
Where was family when I was called a burden, when I sat alone while you laughed? I've been more than patient. I gave everything, and you gave me nothing.
Dad is right. You all owe him an apology, not the other way around.
But Michael, blood is thicker than water. You can't just throw him away.
Blood didn't stop you from calling me dead weight. Blood is a word you use when it's convenient.
The relatives fell silent, their hypocrisy hanging in the air like smoke from the stale barbecue. Cousin Jake looked away, shame coloring his cheeks. Even Aunt Carol's gaze dropped to the grass. Michael's resolve held, strengthened by Emily's silent presence. The time for pleading was over.
I am sorry, Dad. I was wrong. I'll change. Please, give me another chance.
But the apology reeked of panic, not sincerity. Michael heard the hollow echo of every excuse ever made.
You are only sorry because you are losing. You would have let me rot alone.
He shook his head slowly, the gesture heavy with the weight of 18 years of silence. Turning to Charles, he retrieved the official loan recall notice, its letterhead stark against the white paper. The paper felt like lead in his hand, every clause a long overdue reckoning for all the years.
You actually have it, so it's real. You really will destroy me.
It was always real. Now you'll learn the price of arrogance.
Charles stood beside him, a silent pillar, as the yard braced for the inevitable. The time for apologies had passed. Only the irrevocable act could now speak. Michael raised the loan recall notice high, its official seal catching the fading sunlight for all to see.
This is a loan recall notice. As of today, all credit lines to Reeves and Associates are terminated.
Gasps ripped through the crowd, a wave of horror with no escape.
You can't. This is my life. Your legacy.
I can, and I am. The company will be restructured under Emily's leadership.
The family stood frozen, their world crumbling. No one dared breathe.
I will honor my father's trust. This company will be run with integrity again.
Charles stepped forward, offering a pen to formalize the transition. Michael took the pen and signed, the stroke, sealing his son's fate with a final, irrevocable scratch. The weight of 18 years shifted, and for the first time, the burden was his to lift. Brian's legs buckled, collapsing onto the grass in a heap of disbelief and defeat.
Please, Dad. I'll do anything. You can't leave me with nothing.
You had your chance to be family. You chose arrogance and cruelty. Now live with the consequences.
Without another glance, he turned and handed the signed recall to Charles, the act final and absolute.
Dad, I'll make this company something you can be proud of. I promise.
I know you will, sweetheart. That's all I ever wanted.
I won't let you down. This family will remember what real strength looks like.
Michael nodded, his eyes glistening, not with sorrow, but with the quiet pride of a father, finally seen. The relatives stood in stunned silence, no one daring to challenge the new order.
Patricia, I hope you saw that. They finally know who I am.
From the stunned silence, a few relatives edged forward, their earlier laughter replaced by hollow apologies as shame took hold.
Michael, I spoke out of turn. We misjudged you. We're sorry.
The time for words has passed. Charles, let's go. I've spent enough of my life trying to earn what should have been freely given.
He picked up the pie dish, its golden crust still unbroken, and held it for a moment, a relic of the hope he had brought. Then he set it back on the table, the gesture final and quiet, the offering he no longer needed to make. Emily stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him, her embrace a promise unspoken.
I love you, Dad. I'll make this right.
I know you will. You are the best of us.
Michael turned and began walking toward the car, Charles at his side, the remnants of the party fading behind them like a forgotten season. Emily broke from the crowd and ran after him, her voice cracking the silence.
Dad, wait. Thank you for everything, for believing in me when no one else did.
Make them proud, sweetheart, not me. I'm already proud of you. Always have been.
She pulled back, a tear tracing her cheek, but her smile held a newfound strength. Charles opened the car door, the leather interior, a quiet promise of escape. The family stood scattered, their faces a canvas of regret. Brian still knelt on the grass, a broken man. Emily caught his gaze one last time, and he gave a small nod, a quiet blessing.
I'll be watching. Make this company something that honors your mother.
He ducked into the back seat, the cool shadow swallowing him. Charles shut the door with a firm, final thud. Through the window, the barbecue smoke curled upward. Brian did not move, a silhouette of defeat against the fading light. Charles turned the key, the engine humming a quiet note of finality. The car pulled away, gravel crunching beneath its tires like the closing of a chapter. Through the rear window, Emily stood in the driveway, waving with a brave, tear-streaked smile. Beyond her, the family remained frozen in the yard, scattered pieces of a broken picture.
No longer a burden, free at last.
He turned his gaze forward. The weight that had bowed his shoulders for 18 years finally lifted. The car turned a corner, and the house vanished from sight, leaving only the echo of a party that no longer mattered. In the backyard, Brian still knelt on the grass, a man hollowed out by his own arrogance. The pie remained untouched on the table, a testament to a hope that had once been. The burden, Michael finally understood, had never been his to carry. The car glided down the quiet suburban street, the late afternoon sun spilling gold across his face. For the first time in years, Michael let himself breathe without the weight of expectation.
Patricia would have been proud. I finally did what I should have done long ago.
You did the right thing, Michael. It was long overdue.
I know. And I feel lighter, like I am walking out of a long, dark tunnel.
Charles nodded, his eyes on the road, a silent understanding passing between them. Michael turned to the window, watching the blur of trees and houses, the world rushing by. A small, genuine smile tugged at the corner of his lips, not a smile of triumph, but of peace. The scenery outside became a watercolor of greens and golds, the road ahead open and clear. And, for the first time since Patricia's death, Michael felt whole again.